Good morning, children. Previous class we studied about the surrounding of India. Now we will go the next point, the peninsula. It is surrounded by Bay of Bengal in the east. You can see here the peninsula is surrounded by Bay of Bengal in the east and Arabian Sea in the west. Arabian Sea in the west and Indian Ocean in the south. So peninsula means, in another word, it is surrounded by water. The three sides surrounded by water. So you can see once more, Bay of Bengal in the east, Arabian Sea in the west, and the Indian Ocean in the south. So this is a peninsula surrounded by these seas. So India's neighbors. So India shares its political boundaries. India shares its political boundaries with the following countries. Pakistan and Afghanistan on the west. Bangladesh and Myanmar on the east. Bangladesh and Myanmar in the east. The northern boundary is made up of China, Nepal and Bhutan. The northern boundary is made up of China, Nepal and Bhutan. Across the oceans, Maldives and Sri Lanka. So across the oceans, Maldives and Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Pak Strait. Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Pak Strait. So this is the neighboring countries of India. So India's neighbors are, India shares its political boundaries with the following countries, that is Pakistan and Afghanistan on the west, Bangladesh and Myanmar on the east. The northern boundary, is made up of China, Nepal and Bhutan. And across the oceans, the Maldives and the Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is separated from India by Pak Strait. So next, do you know? A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies. A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies area. The meaning of a strait. Meaning of a strait is, it is a narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies area. So Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of the mainland of India. Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of the mainland of India. Indira Point is the southern tip of our country. It is on the Nicobar Islands, which is not on the mainland of India. India Point has been named in honor of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Do you know? A strait means is a narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies areas. Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of the mainland of India. Indira Point is the southern tip of our country. It is on the Nicobar Islands, which is not on the mainland of India. India Point has been named in honor of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So next we have physical divisions. After neighbors, India's neighbors, next we have physical divisions. India has varied landforms like mountains, hills, plains, plateaus, sea, coast and deserts. Physical divisions. India has varied landforms like mountains, hills, plains, plateaus, seacoast and deserts. On the basis of these varied features, India has been divided into 5 main divisions. So on the basis of these varied features, India has been divided into 5 main divisions. So India has varied landforms like mountains, hills, plains, rivers, plateaus, seacoast and desert. On the basis of these varied physical features, our country is divided into 5 main physical divisions. So children, already I said you explained. So India is not only having a unity in diversity or surrounded by the beautiful places like palaces, monuments or the historical places or the trees or the garden or the forest and all, but even India has got its own physical divisions. So that is how India has got different landforms like mountains, hills. So of course we have a land, mountains, hills, plains and plateaus and the sea coast and the desert. Of course you already know landforms are nothing but where we can grow the things, where we can grow crops or have an agricultural way of tilling the land. So this is a landforms. Landforms are different. So mountains, of course mountains are very useful us most of the time or number of time. Even the features of mountains is that they always protect us. They always protect India from wind, storm and even the clouds and the monsoon rain. So the mountains are for India, these are what you call the blocking mountains, blocking, because the many times we hear here and there the earthquake, the natural calamities and the landslides, so etc. But so far we the Indians are very far from the earthquake. Of course it takes place here and there but not much disaster, and because the mountains are the wall for us, where they stop, where they have a capacity of controlling the load or the capacity of the other like natural calamities. So because of the mountains we are safe. And the hills are there, which gives very much beauty to the areas and the surroundings. And we have plains and the plateaus. These are the landforms where we grow our things. So we have a plains, we have a plateaus where the agriculture takes place. Of course, again the sea coast, we have the beautiful sea coast, especially which helps the fisher folk to have their survival. So people get into the sea and they catch all of the fish, and there are fisher folk where they earn their daily bread by getting into the sea or working in the boat and the other things and all. So next, when it comes to the desert, of course, along with the agriculture, of course we have a beautiful country and we have a plains and plateaus. And other than that, even we have a desert where it looks very beautiful to see, but there is no much growth in that area. So less of water, lack of water, and it causes the less of agriculture. So even we have the beautiful deserts where only the camel can survive, or very few people can survive there, because the desert gives nothing. Desert gives us nothing. So therefore people move from the places. They go and settle, or they keep on moving wherever they can have their livelihood. So therefore these are the physical divisions, how the land forms have been divided. So on the basis of these varied features in India has been divided into 5 main divisions. They are as follows. The first one, the northern mountain wall. The northern mountain wall. Second one, the northern plains. The northern plains. Third one, the desert. Third one is desert. Fourth is the southern plateau. The southern plateau. Fifth is the coastal plains and the islands. The coastal plains and the islands. So dear children, you can look into your textbook on page number 73. So they have given the Indian physical and Indian political. So here you can see the legend, the northern mountains, the northern plains, the great Indian desert, the Deccan plateau, the coastal plains and the islands. So you can see here Bay of Bengal is here, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean. These are the Lakshadweep islands, and the Andaman and Nicobar is here. And you can see here the Ganga river and Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. So these are all the beautiful rivers surrounded by the Himalayas, even the beautiful rivers and the longest rivers of India. So dear children, the 5 divided into 5 main divisions, I think we study them in a next class. Okay, thank you.